Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shamika and this is Check the Rhymes. I am super excited that you're here. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Have y'all been watching that new series, Black Cake on Hulu? If not, you need to check it out. So I started streaming it because all of you guys were on Twitter talking about it. And I was like, well, let me see. And then I got the opportunity to chat with the series star, Mia Issac. So she's in the building today to talk about her role on the show Black Cake. Now, it's already streaming on Hulu. There's 7 episodes that's already there. But the final piece to the mystery, the final episode, episode 8, drops on December 6th on Hulu. So I cannot wait. So let's hop into this interview, talk to Mia to see what we can expect and more. Stay tuned.
Hi,
Hi, Mia. Welcome to Check the Rhymes. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. You look so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much.
So, Black Cake. I love this series. I was hesitant at first to start it because I thought, oh, if it's dealing with a lot of loss, I don't know if I can take that right now. But then I sat down and I was like, oh gosh, I'm drawn in. Like I can't stop watching. So it's an amazing series. So for the people that haven't started watching it, can you please tell us what Black Cake is all about?
Black Cake follows a young girl named Covey, who is living in Jamaica in the early 1960s, and she is basically sold into an arranged marriage. But the night of the wedding goes wrong, and she's framed for her husband's murder and forced to flee her country and her home. And the story kind of just follows her journey from a young girl going to different countries and from a girl into an adult. And we go back and forth from the present day to the past when she ultimately gets married and has children, and kind of the legacy that she leaves behind for her kids.
So I was curious about this because I thought, did I miss something? Like the part where in that first episode where she is framed, was she really framed? Because it felt like she just kind of took off before anybody said, you did it.
Well, I don't know. What would you do if your wedding night, your husband falls to the ground? I don't know what I'd do in that situation.
Well, especially if I didn't want to marry him to begin with. So I guess you're right.
Yeah. I'm like, this is my chance. Let me get out of here while I can.
Exactly. So what made you want to take on this role? Because the story is there's so many intricacies. Maybe that is the reason. Or did you read the book first and then get the script? How did that work?
I mean, when you look at it, it's just like, how can you say no to something like this?
Yeah.
That's the way it was for me, at least. I mean, when I read the audition breakdown, it just felt like it was me and it was my story. I have never in my life gotten an audition that is my ethnicity exactly. She's Chinese and Jamaican, I'm Chinese and Panamanian, so we're both Caribbean, and I was just shocked that there was something that could be so perfectly fit to me. And I was like, how can I not be a part of this, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's like the universe kind of put all the pieces together. That's amazing. So with that, did you read the book once you auditioned? Did you go back and read the book? Like, how did you tap into, because to be at such a young age and to be able to capture all the emotions, even in the one scene in the first episode when, her future husband walks in and just that moment when he walks up on her at the, in the kitchen, and then you go in the room and it was like, you didn't have to say a word. We got all of what you meant. And so how did you tap into such a dark space or deep space?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, I auditioned. Was reading the book while I was auditioning. The audition process lasted almost 3 months. And so I started reading the book before I even did my first audition, just because I read the breakdown and I was like, even if I don't get this, I want to read the book.
Yeah.
And I was learning the story as I was auditioning and going through the process. And I think I finished the book during maybe my second callback. And I knew that it was going to be something that challenged me and was difficult, but I had this gut feeling that it was meant for me or made for me in a way. Not even to sound vain, but just that it was so, so true to me. And it resonated with me so much that I was like, if I need to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And tackling the difficult scenes and the traumatic scenes was really, really hard because whatever Covey's feeling and whatever Covey's going through, I have to go through. And so I was lucky that, at times I got to be with my family. My family is what grounds me, and my family
Good.
is my support system. And so, when I had to do, not to spoil anything, but when I had to do really difficult, emotionally and physically difficult scenes, I had my mom there, or I had my dad with me, just to talk to, and just their presence really, really helped me.
That's awesome. I was actually going to ask that question. How did you decompress from those scenes? But it sounds like you did have a great support system in place. So that's amazing that you even thought to do that, because I think sometimes in hindsight, people are like, oh, I should have done this. But yeah, that's kudos to you for doing that. What can we expect for the rest of this season?
So right now there are 7 episodes streaming on Hulu. There's 1 episode left, and I know everybody has a lot of questions. The biggest one being, who did it? The murder mystery is still mystery. But hopefully you'll find that out in the 8th episode, and everything will kind of tie together.
Okay. And what else are you working on, since the last episode is going to air? I guess that would be next Wednesday. I don't have the date in front of me, but so what else do you have coming up that we can be on the lookout for?
I'm currently in London shooting a Netflix series called The Perfect Couple, which is also based off of a book. So if you want to read that before it comes out next year, you can do that. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I have enjoyed chatting with you, and keep doing what you do, because your talent just shines through. Black Cake is streaming right now on Hulu, and the new and final episode will drop next Wednesday. So everybody check that out. Thank you, Mia, for joining me on Check the Rhymes.
Thanks. Great talking with you.